everybody, how's it going? It's Jamie, the crafty DIY guy. Merry Christmas! It is time to start decorating the house, and I am super stoked because Christmas is one of my favorite times of year, and I love to decorate for Christmas. Now, you will hear a story about my grandmother in the video, and unfortunately in 2017, I lost my grandmother. She had a stroke on Christmas Day in 2016, and then in 2017, just after New Year's, she passed away. Now, a lot of times, stuff like that would make you really bitter, especially about a holiday. But my grandmother loved Christmas so much that I decided to amp up what I was doing at home. I was very, very basic at home. I would set up a tree and just kind of, that was kind of it. And my grandmother loved Christmas so much, and she went over and above every year when she decorated, that I decided I had to pick up that tradition as a way to honor her. And that's what I did. So I'm going to decorate with you some of the stuff you're already seeing behind me. But then also I'll show you some of the special pieces that I was able to inherit from her that I get and use every year. And then, of course, before we get into all of that, I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers, especially my OGs. This is our second Christmas together, and it's been amazing, and I cannot thank you guys enough. And if you're brand new to the channel, of course, or you recently found me because of maybe the collaboration from the Christmas tree collaboration with the Cozy Christmas Cottage, aka Shannon from the Daily DIYer, welcome, of course. And if you're brand new to the channel, maybe YouTube just recommended the video to you, thank you, YouTube. Then hopefully you'll stick around, and sometimes I wear goofy stuff like this, but this is a hat I bought at Dollar Tree, but I have to show you something because it's hilarious and it's very typical of something that I would do. If you have a fat head, you cannot buy a hat at Dollar Tree, because let me show you what I had to do to get it to fit. I had to split it in half. All right, so it's just a prop for the video. Let's get into the video. Hey, how's it going? It's Jamie, the crafty DIY guy, and it is time to start decorating for Christmas. I am very, very excited to do this video because a lot of this stuff I bought last year either on a crazy clearance sale at Micheals, or even some stuff came from $4 grab bags at Micheals. Some stuff I've made this year in my DIY videos already, so this is going to be fun. This is literally the first time that I'm using some of this stuff, and it's funny because this first set of stuff are things that I bought that I originally was going to do on the mantle in my living room, and then I found something else that I wanted to do even more in my mantle, so I'm going to try and make this work in my dining room on this dining room table. So let's get started. The first thing I did was remove everything from the table, and then because my table is blue, I love it, but I had this great burlap tablecloth that I just added to the top. I thought it was going to be a great transition piece for the copper and the gold and the bronze garland that you see there. And I ended up actually buying 2 rolls of this garland, or 2 bundles of this garland. It was like $6 a piece. It was ridiculously priced when I found these. And the original idea was that I was going to have, remember, this on my fireplace mantle. So I'm trying to make both of them work on the table here, and then check out these trees. I'm obsessed with these trees. There are 3 different sizes here, and I think I paid about $5, $8, and $6. Finally, I kind of realized that 1 strand of garland was just going to be plenty. So this is what it looks like now that it's all set up in the dining room. I did add my LED tree candlestick lights that I made in my last video, so I will link that below for you as well. But again, I love the way this looks. I love it with that burlap tablecloth and just the way those trees and everything is integrated with the garland. And then it even looks good with those DIYs that I did on the bar in the back. And now that I've got the dining room set, it is time to start working on the fireplace. This is going to be the focal point of all of my Christmas decor. First, I need to remove all of this fall decor. And then also I need to remove all this other normal decor, except for that reindeer sign, of course. That is typically on my mantle. I love my mantle, but it is time to put everything away. So I'm going to go ahead and put everything into storage. I'm going to clean off this mantle, and then I am going to get started working on my wreath form. Now, I'm taking my wreath and I'm just kind of hanging it on the wall just so I can get an idea of where it needs to be and, how tall it's going to be. For this next part, what I'm trying to decide is what to do on the wreath itself, because I'm going to have a lot of really large nutcrackers on here. I've got like 6 to 10, and I don't know if I am just better off doing a very simple bow on the wreath or if I'm going to do maybe some garland. I've got some options, but before we even get to the options, why don't we just start unpacking all of these amazing, sorry, I had to grab some scissors, nutcrackers, because I want to take the price off. Look. Y'all, I think I paid like $10 for these. Maybe they were $12. So my idea was literally just to line like this entire mantle with all of these fantastic nutcrackers. Here is another one that I gotta take the price tag off. Like they've never been used because I bought them last year at a clearance sale, and so I'm just starting to use those. I kind of like the idea of those guys overlapping just a little bit. Okay, everybody, so I've played around with my nutcrackers, and I've tried to do something with this wreath here, but I'm not happy with it. So what I'm going to do actually is take the wreath off, and I went to Dollar Tree and I bought a lot of stuff. In fact, I can't show everything that I bought in there. And we are going to make this wreath stand out a lot more. And I'm going to be doing a garland all across the front, and I'm doing it all with Dollar Tree products. Another thing that I did is I actually have 6 of these large nutcrackers, and I wanted some variation in height. So what I'm going to do is, excuse me, I'm going to burp. Rude. What I'm going to do is raise them up using some of my old books, because my books are going to be covered up by the garland that I'm going to be making. And I may even add another book to that just to give it some height. And then I had this nutcracker. This is one that my sister actually did for me. It was one of those unfinished ones that you buy at Micheals. And it came in a grab bag that I had. I sent it to my sister and she painted it for me. And I just loved the way that it turned out. And because I also had this guy that was a Dollar General, it was marked down to it was $7 regular price, and then it was on a clearance sale. But if you look at it, he's missing a foot. So I think I paid like $1 for it. But you don't even really miss the foot. And I don't know, I even thought about putting a little jingle block there or just leaving it the way it is, because he's still a cute nutcracker. And then the other 2 big nutcrackers, I did something really cool with down below, but you'll have to wait to see that later in the video. Now, for the mantle, I am going to be adding some embellishments to the wreath, and then I'm going to be creating a garland. So I went to Dollar Tree and I bought a bunch of stuff. Now, I bought these 3 packages of ornaments because I have red ornaments already at home. I also bought some ribbon that I thought might come in handy. Not exactly sure if I'm going to end up using it or not. I did also buy 6 packages, it was 4 packages of the lights that you see there. Those are the 5-foot strands. I thought that they'd be good for the mantle, and they actually ended up working out perfectly. I also did buy 6 packages of this 15-foot garland because I can just double this up, and you'll see what I end up doing. I actually end up braiding all of them together, and it makes a pretty hefty piece of garland, which is great. And then for these floral pieces, I just made sure I bought all red ones that had that gold trim in the center that I like so much. And then I did pick up 2 packages of the garland ornaments that they sell at Dollar Tree. They typically have a tri-colored blend, but they didn't have any. So I bought the red and I bought the silver. I think I'm going to end up using them for this. And then lots of these floral clips. They're kind of like picks, except for they have a clip on the end of them. And I'll show you that clip in just a minute. I think you'll see my sleeve before you see the actual clip itself. Yep, there's the sleeve. And there's the clip. But the clip is great because it can literally just clip right onto the garland. And then I also bought some in gold. I bought some in red. I bought some in silver. I think I'm going to end up using the silver for another project, though, but I'm going to actually try. And then, yeah, this is everything. I think I spent about $46 at Dollar Tree today, but I don't think it was quite that much for all of this stuff that's here. Now for my garland, I'm going to go ahead and just open up 3 bundles. I did end up using all 6 bundles, but what I'm going to do is unwrap the 3, and then I'm going to bring them end to end. And then, so essentially I'm taking 1 package of garland, folding it in half, twisting it together, and then repeating that process with 3 sets of garland. And then I'm going to twist them all together and make a thicker piece of garland. And then eventually I end up twisting together all 6 sets of garland to make one really big, thick piece of garland for the mantle. So hopefully that makes sense and you can kind of follow along in the video here. Then when I was all done with that, I did go ahead and take my lights and just twist them around the garland pieces itself and made sure to leave enough of that cord at the end so I could plug it in with an extension cord. I also wanted to repeat the process on the wreath. Now, I did not add any garland or anything to the wreath, but I did add string lights to it, and I did add 3 packages. So I actually ended up needing 5 packages of lights to do my entire fireplace mantle. I had a package already on hand, so I was fortunate. So literally, I'm just kind of loosely wrapping it. I'm not even going to technically wrap it. I'm just doing it around the front of the wreath because it's going to hang on the wall. So there's not really any necessary need to wrap it like you might want to. I'm just kind of half-assed wrapping it right now, to be kind of honest, because once it gets hanging on the wall and I plug everything in and make sure it works, then I'll kind of fluff it up and zhuzh it up and make it pretty. All right, finally got it to work. It was a lot. Cheers. Now I wanted to make sure that the garland was all laid out properly and nice and flat before I started putting the nutcrackers on there. Also, I wanted to make sure that everything was just good and sturdy, and obviously that everything was plugged in, was safe, and would be working well. Now, for those picks, I went ahead and I put them in a little storage bin and then just kind of was able to hold them in my arms as I was decorating. Now, what I'm doing right now is literally just kind of taking those picks and just kind of spreading them out around that wreath. I'm not even sticking them on there or clipping them. This is really just so I get a sense of how many I have in total. All right, so I am checking in with you guys so you know that I really am doing this. And I really like the way it's turning out. It's definitely brighter than anything I've ever done. But also, you have to remember, I'm not setting up a big Christmas tree this year. I'm not going to be doing a big 6-foot tree. I have my grandmother's ceramic tree, which I'll show you at the end of this video. And then I have a small tree that is on my entertainment center that is not decorated right now. And it will probably end up being decorated with just some of my favorite like family ornaments and stuff, but that's probably about it. All right, so now I want to show you this amazing tool that I have. It is called a pair of Lineman Pliers, and I will link this below. But what I love about this is that it makes this whole process so much easier. Pretty happy with the flower portion of it, but now I have all these little accessories, these little kind of picks with pine cones and berry sprays and such. So I'm just gonna start using those up, and then I think we are close to being finished. And this is what the fireplace mantle looks like when it's all done. I added that silver deer in the middle and then added a few more silver ornaments just to tie it all together. I'm very happy with the way this looks, but now it is time to work on the lower part of the fireplace. So my fireplace is a coal fireplace. It was built in the 40s. And what's kind of cool about my fireplace is that it is wood burning. However, the damper needs to be repaired before I can really safely burn a fire in here. Everything is safe, everything is solid. The damper is going to take about 9 weeks to make because it has to be custom made, because my fireplace is from the 40s and my house was built in 1945. So I'm going to use some decorative suitcases, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a little Christmas village in here. So I've got one suitcase that I'm kind of angling on purpose, and then I've got one that I'm gonna kind of stick like that. All right, guys, so I have got Christmas stuff everywhere, and I am going to work on the fireplace now. So my fireplace is a coal fireplace. It was built in the 40s, and what's kind of cool about my fireplace is that it is wood burning. However, the damper needs to be repaired before I can really safely burn a fire in here. Everything is safe, everything is solid. The damper is going to take about 9 weeks to make because it has to be custom made, because my fireplace is from the 40s and my house was built in 1945. So I'm going to use some decorative suitcases, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a little Christmas village in here. So I've got one suitcase that I'm kind of angling on purpose, and then I've got one that I'm going to kind of stick like that. And don't pay attention to these nutcrackers. Not sure if they're going to stay there or not yet. But what I thought it would be fun to do is take that Dollar Tree village, all those Dollar Tree houses. Last year, I bought the complete set that they sold on DollarTree.com, and I believe they're going to have it again probably this year. But I thought it would also be fun to incorporate a train set. And this is a battery operated train set. I think I bought this at Bed Bath & Beyond years ago. My intention was to put it around the Christmas tree, but then presents and stuff get in the way. And I thought this could be perfect because there's enough space here, even with the second suitcase stacked, that I could make the train go in here and put some snow, or, snow. And then even use this side, almost imagining, this is the mountain, whatever. But I'm going to show the suitcases still. So I think it'll look really cool. Now, I did take the train track and put it together in a circle. And it does fit within here just fine with a little bit of overhang. And I can adjust that. The problem is that the suitcases are not flat on the top. And they're not flat because they're old. And so what I thought I would do is I would take an old campaign sign. This is from our East Point mayor, Deanna Holiday Ingram, and she's amazing. And I thought that I could take that and then put it in the back, and because it's going to be sturdy enough, because it's, it's not cardboard, but it's kind of that plasticky, kind of coated material stuff, I think this will work. I've got my campaign sign trimmed, and I actually had some pallet boards that I thought would be a lot more sturdy. So I did just go ahead and glue those, and I did trim the board down to where it's going to fit appropriately. So now let's take the track, put this back in here, make sure it's all assembled and hooked together the right way, and see if this works It should be nice and straight now and nice and smooth. And if it works, then I will take the track out again and cover it in the snow. I think all my wheels are on. Let's see. Perfect. It's going to work out perfectly. Okay, I'm just going to take a towel. And it's just a bath towel. And nothing too fancy. It is a clean one. And setting up our village. And for the lower half, I had actually a chamois cloth that was clean, and I just kind of trimmed it and shaped it up. And then for the village itself, I just started adding in my LED fairy lights, my different various buildings from the Dollar Tree sets. All of them take those battery-operated tea lights, so it's nice because it looks like their windows are all illuminated. And then as I was kind of working on finishing everything and setting everything up, we had a little visitor come by. This is Mr. Otis, for those of you who don't know. And Mr. Otis was quite fascinated with the train set. And as you can see, he almost had a Godzilla moment a couple times, but he was a good boy, and he did not destroy the village. This is a super affordable DIY idea that I grabbed from Dollar Tree. Simply grab one of these 2 packs of these silver bowls. They're actually plastic. You can find them in the kind of the party section, I guess, that you would find at Dollar Tree. Take one of the bowls and one of these floating candles from Dollar Tree. And literally, you're going to take this little dish, you're going to fill it with water, you're going to carefully place your candle in there and light it up. And with the brilliance of that plastic bowl and the silver, it looks so good. Another idea you could do with the second bowl is to simply take one of these garland ties that you can pick up from Dollar Tree, put it in a circle, take a glass candle holder. This happens to be a pine-scented one. And you're going to get one that's tall enough that it's not going to affect that garland that you're going to put around there that ties. So then add a couple ornaments, light your candle, and you've got a fantastic and very, very affordable little candle decor. Another item I always decorate with is a manger, and this is a DIY manger that I made with some Dollar Tree houses. I would definitely share that DIY link below. Also, I have a stained glass church that used to belong to my grandmother. I actually use this all year long as a nightlight in my hallway. Now, this particular tree has not been decorated yet, or at least not fully decorated, but what's important about this tree to me are those presents that are sitting underneath it. In 2016, my grandmother had a stroke on Christmas Day, and those presents were intended for her. She was never able to open them because she passed away shortly after New Year's in 2017. So as a way of honoring her, I always put those presents out for her under the tree and just spend a lot of time thinking about her. And for the finale, this is the tree I told you about that was my grandmother's. My mom actually made this tree in the 70s and then gave it to my grandmother. My grandmother kept it for many years, and in 2017, when she passed away, I inherited this tree, and I absolutely love it. It's the first thing I set up every year, and that music box is built into the tree itself. It's very cool.